When I was a kid, I had a wild imagination that caused me to hallucinate and see things moving in the house. If I thought too long and stared too long at something, it would begin to come to life. I was always afraid that something was going to hurt me. When I lived in the old house, me and my brother slept in separate beds. I slept next to the windows and my brother slept closest to the door. One night, I couldn't sleep though. I had to go to the bathroom, but the door was closed. I was so afraid that if I opened the door, something would get me. My brother never seemed to be afraid of what was outside the door, so I whispered and tried to wake him up. But he wouldn't wake up, so I began pleading. I pleaded and pleaded for him to wake up, but he wouldn't. I was so scared of what was outside the door that I even threw my favorite stuffed animal at him, but he wouldn't move. The more and more I looked at the door, it began to move. It began coming closer and closer to me, and then it's like it started opening on its own. When that happened, I screamed so loud my parents came bursting through the door and rushed to save me. My parents were very religious, and I grew up in a very Christian household. My parents talked to some people at the church, and they suggested an emotional support animal. That's when I got my cat, Angel. Every time I would dissociate or begin seeing things moving, she would come to me and bring me back to reality. A couple years later, and me and my family moved. In the new house, Angel always slept with me in my room, and I never really had those episodes again. Even when Angel came down with a terrible sickness that ended up taking her life, I didn't have those episodes. But when Angel died, I instead became deeply afraid of death. Even though I had spent so much time at my church, I was still unsure if God was real or not. My deepest fear was dying in my sleep. So when one night I couldn't sleep, I asked God to prove He was real by moving a chair in front of me. I prayed and prayed, but the chair wouldn't move. It scared me so bad I began shaking. If God wasn't real, I could die in my sleep, and there would be nothing. I was shaking and crying so bad, I pleaded with God to please move the chair. Please move the chair. Please, please.